Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for day 2 of the Vancouver Sevens. This one, the Blitzboks, taking on the Irish. What could be a very close game. These two sides have had moments throughout the last 12 months where they've been on top. But for these South Africans in their starting lineup, they will be as follows. Ryan Oosterhuizen, Tristan Lade, Shilton van Veek, Sylvan Davids, David Benjamin Brits, one of the newer names that has been added into this Blitzboks team, Zane Davids, and of course the experienced veteran of Roscoe Spickman to close out their starting side. For the Irish, it is Hugo Lennox, Zach Ward, Gavin Mullen, Sean Cribben, Connor O'Sullivan, Harry McNulty, and Jordan Conroy. Now, in such a competitive group, it is so important to pick up points. We just saw New Zealand pull off the victory, so I believe they have now almost qualified. There is quite a contingency in this group of who is actually going to be making their way through to the next stage of the competition. But of course, as soon as we know who is through, we will be letting you know as well. I believe the ball is being delivered. There we go. Ball has been delivered to Hugo Lennox. They are now ready to go. But the way that the table sits currently for this group, it is New Zealand in first on 6 points. Great Britain in second on 6 points. Third place, South Africa on 4 points. Fourth place, Ireland on 2. So if Ireland win this game by 8 or more, they knock South Africa out of this competition. If South Africa win, they will move to the top of the group. So there is a lot on the line here for these two sides. A spot in the quarterfinals, almost guaranteed for whoever makes their way through. Unless that's Ireland, then they have to wait. But now, Ireland are in possession. McNulty with the wide cutout pass. Mullins going across to Hugo Lennox. First touch of the day, of course. All the players with that tape on their elbows and the knees due to the AstroTurf that cuts through a lot of limbs. Well, not literally off, but just quite deep insertions into the flesh. Out the back line, Mullins goes to Zach Ward. Good tackle made on him. Low by Roscoe Spickman. Counter ruck from Zane Davids. Pulls the man down. And now good hustle from Che Mullen to get the ball back for the Irish. Bok, we need this, says Helen Howe. No good, not too long to go. I should hopefully see it before the next load shedding. Says Bruce passed out wide now. Here goes Hugo Lennox. Almost breaking through. Ball sitting there for Jordan Conroy. It's in the starting lineup. Getting minutes under his belt. Good evening, Amish, says Giovanni. Welcome in. Now around the side again, Zach Ward. Big sell the dummy. He's a hard man to stop. He's bulldozed and overlaid. He threw the ball at the line. I don't know whether or not it's going to be a try. He doesn't look confident. Did all the hard work of breaking through Lades, but I think the big man, Zane Davids, may have just stopped him in time. He had it. Oh, that's a little bit of downwards pressure, but only a little tiny bit. So this might be ruled as a no try, but there's also a chance that they rule it as a try. It does slip out afterwards, that is for sure. Normally a player's reaction, you can almost tell. And I think, yep, he's going to be awarded the try. There was enough downwards pressure. He wasn't sure though, Mullen. He is now fist bumping, Zach Ward. His 11th try in 2024. The man's been on fire. 27th throughout his career, so he hasn't had the longest run in the Sevens, but he'll certainly have a longer run in the future. The kick is missing. 5-0 now for Ireland after the first 2 minutes, but great run. Tristan Lades missing that tackle, and Zach Ward just able to put that downwards pressure on the ball. Currently, the way that the table sits, it would have Ireland as the third best team in this group, which would actually allow them to theoretically go through even if South Africa received that bonus point. So that is something that is actually a bit more substantial than I thought. Bonus point for South Africa doesn't actually matter. They have to win this game, or else they will be missing out on the quarterfinals. Unless they can lose this game by only 2 points, then they still go through as third. It's easier if I just tell you where they finished in 12 minutes, because that's going to be a lot easier in the maths department. But there is a knock-on from Ireland. Ireland are the best team at retaining possession from the restart on day one. There you go, 40% was their retention rate. When you look at some of the other sides around with Jermaine Schultz, with Josefa Talatholo, some of these guys who are able to jump up high and just above everyone else, the fact that Ireland is at the top of that bunch is very impressive indeed. Now, I should mention there are a few other teams that are currently sitting in a good position to go through. Argentina and Fiji have confirmed their spot. Canada will be taking on Spain. So the most points that they can receive there is 4 points, which will actually, believe it or not, put them behind South Africa and Ireland, depending on the result of this game. But they would still go through on a technicality if Samoa or the USA are only, or if they lose by more than 7. There you go. I've confused myself. Shilton van Wyk on the halfway line to Roscoe Speckman. Going to be a bit of grass burn there for that Irish defender who made that tackle. He slid like he was on a water slide. Harry McNulty makes a good low tackle on Benjamin Brits. Now Shilton van Wyk tries to show off his pace but doesn't quite have the space to be able to get through the gap. Now back across to the right-hand side. Shilton van Wyk, of course, try-scoring machine for the Blitzboks. Penalty does go the way of South Africa after Selvin Davids has a little bit of a bursting run up the middle. He was sensational in that first game up against New Zealand, stopping all attacking plays from the Kiwis that he could, as well as scoring the double. Looks like South Africa are going to be going with the quick tap here rather than going for the corner. They want to be aggressive. Now Selvin Davids right through the gap, out wide, and it's going to be the try for South Africa. David Benjamin Brits, the man who broke his rib in the first training session with the South Africans that he was in. He's got a black eye at the moment. It looks like the man does take a few bumps. He has, wait, that sounds dodgy because a bump is also another term for something else, isn't it? But he's a strong individual. Bounces back. Now Selvin Davids from the touchline. This to give the South Africans the lead. It falls short. And it's going to keep the score at 5-5. So the current live table, of course, you can't go to a draw in the 7 circuit. Now, after the change rules, you would have to go to golden point time. But if South Africa were to win this, they would qualify first in Pool C. First team in Pool C in the quarterfinal side of things. First team in Pool C. We will see. They are going head-to-head with... Oh, they've changed it. They had it that they... Yeah, never mind. They had the rankings there for who was going to play who, but now they do not have that. It's going to travel forward. Scrum for Ireland now. That's a boys' discipline, but just the handling at the moment is something that has hurt the South Africans just that little bit more. It is this scrum to Green. And to wrestle that ball out of the hands there, Zane Davids. He's a tough man and he's not very easy to get the ball off. 90 seconds remaining in this first half, ladies and gents. The next game that we are covering on the channel is Samoa when they take on the USA. That is just around the corner at 10:25 a.m. start. But then after that, we've actually got a little bit of a break of about maybe an hour or maybe about 40 minutes before Argentina take on Fiji, which is another game we will be doing. But going off to the right-hand side, nice step there from Jordan Conroy. Trying to keep the South Africans on their toes. Some nice stepping. Roscoe Speckman, though, takes him down. He's got plenty of pace still in the later years of his Sevens career. Big wide cutout pass. Here, Harry McNulty gets it away to Terry Kennedy. And David's a little bit slow getting back up to his feet. Keep an eye on that left knee of David's. Looks like it may have given way a little bit, but passed out wide now to Jordan Conroy. 3 defenders there. Speckman, Oosterhuizen, and Lades. All ready to make that tackle. Hugo Lennox goes back across. Going to be Sullivan. Now ball on the outside. McNulty. Zach Waters through the try-scoring machine. Passes on the outside to Terry Kennedy, who is 5 metres out, finds the offload to Zach Ward, and the Irish are in again. Right near the halftime whistle that I hope doesn't get any worse. Teammates need you, says Blues Nate. You're a champion, Hamish. Thanks for giving us the time as you do. For us folks, don't always have Sky. Says Naz Williams, no worries at all. We have got the Sevens later on today, of course, with those 2 games that I mentioned, as well as the quarterfinals, which are going to be starting up at 3:22 p.m, followed by the Six Nations at 4 a.m. between France and Italy. And then we are up tomorrow for the rest of the Sevens, which are starting at the beautiful hour of 7:37 a.m. So that's nice. But it's a lot of rugby, but it's a lot of fun over this weekend. But the lead at the moment, 10 points to 5. The kick has missed again for Ireland. Now, these are all crucial points that could have made a big difference depending on what happens throughout this second 7 minutes. Benjamin Britt's taking some very deep breaths. They've just said, Sam Dixon, 100th try. And mate, how do you do it? Oh, you're on something, bro, says Naz Williams. Yeah, I have no idea either, to be honest. Like, it's too many hours. The fact that my voice lasts throughout it, I think, is more impressive than me being awake for it. Go Ireland, says Naz Williams. Yeah, the Irish, if they win this game, South Africa lose it by only 2, they will actually go ahead of the Irish. But if they don't, you see their difference. Actually, their difference is a little bit more. So, yeah, it's about 2 or 3 when Samoa playing. They are the next game. They are going to be taking on the USA, kicking off in about 10 minutes' time. We are covering that game on the channel as well as the next Samoan game, whether that is in the quarterfinals or whether that is in the playoff games that are taking place as well. But Samoa, they need at least 1 point, I think is the best way of describing it. Unless Spain beat Canada, then Samoa would go through as the next best third place team. Because Australia currently, well, to be fair, Australia, if they beat France, would actually maybe sneak in to that next stage. But yeah, Samoa, if they win their game up against the USA, they are through. So that is exactly what they need to aim for. If they don't, then they have to wait to find out if their points differential and the points that they have are going to be enough. It's kicked off. Nicely taken by Harry McNulty. They've said as it currently stands, Ireland with this result, if it stays this way, they would be going through. And South Africa, they would be missing out. Now breaking through again, Zach Ward. He's already got 2 tries. He's going for his 3rd, but he's on the halfway line and is eventually dragged down by Sullivan Davis. Now going to the short side, Harry McNulty. Didn't quite have the pace he was after. Almost dropped by Mullen. And hands on the ground from Ryan Oosterhuizen. He thought he had the turnover there. This is a different crowd. There's Crumpus and Roof and such. I believe a lot of those guys and gals will be sleeping. It is currently 11:18. I'm going to watch the game, Samoa, on your channel. I'm your big fan, says Dolores. Thank you very much. Now, I should mention we are unable to show match footage, of course, due to the licensing and whatnot, but we will give you commentary all throughout that game, let you know exactly where they are on the field and what is happening throughout that 14 minutes. It's going to be some of the most important rugby that Samoa will play. So I hope that they do well. Vissa has now come onto the field. And that is going to be for David Benjamin Brits. That may be because that eye is pretty much completely swollen shut. But also alongside that, I think that they want to show that they're willing to be enforcers out there. South Africa, Impie Visa, Ryan Oosterhuizen, like those two are big blokes. And alongside them, you've got Zane Davids. So they should be able to hold up the Irish defence. That allows a little bit more of the speed of Ireland to maybe play factor. Ireland doing okay, says Brian. Now the ball is going to be thrown, and Harry McNulty inside ball to Lennox. And it's another one for the Irish. That was beautifully done. Just pop pass on the inside. South Africa were not anticipating it. And Ireland now have got themselves the lead of 15 points to 5. I think that they've got, what's his name? on the commentary. He's an ex-Sevens man. He's also been on Love Island. I can't remember what he's called, though. I can see him, but I can't think of his name. But pretty much he's loving it because Ireland are winning. And the drop kick has missed again, which does still keep South Africa in the game. We've got to remember, in a game of sevens, 5 minutes is an eternity. The way that it currently sits, though, South Africans would be missing out on the next stage. And it's a shame because they're probably going to end up with more than a couple of the other groups in terms of the teams in Bok. Really, says Alan Howe. But now, ball is available and boo. People have figured South Africa out. Says, good story, bro. Sullivan Davids, good low tackle made by Lennox. Tried to roll out of that breakdown. I think he might have some sort of injury here, Lennox. He's a bit slow getting back to his feet. Now, nice work from Mpifisa. Anything off Hamish, catch you later. Says Neil, so we will see you later on. I'm sure at some stage, Neil. I don't know whether that will be in New Zealand or Australia, but yeah, safe travels on your way home. Hopefully she doesn't annoy you too much. She'll get angry at me saying that. My name is Zion. Come on, South, get a try, says Dolores. But now 4 minutes 20. How long left? 4 minutes 20 remaining in this one, ladies and gents. A whole heap of subs are now going to be made. Okay, Matt McDonald now making his way onto the field for the Irish. Not a huge amount of knowledge on that player, but hopefully you guys are right. I'll be back for the Samoa game, says Dolores there, so we will see you just a little bit later on. Of course, that game going to be kicking off at, I believe, supposed to be at 5 minutes or so's time. About 10:27. It's the kickoff of that one. Oh dear, I'm not going to play some catch-up rugby, but Ireland at the moment are in position. I don't think you can figure any team out 100%. Says Nars Williams. Of course, you can catch their tendencies, but that is why some of these seven sides are so good, because they always evolve their game. You look at someone like an Argentina. People thought that they were just kicking, and then all of a sudden, they've completely changed the way that they're able to play. Now it's available for Terry Kennedy, going off to the left-hand side. Billy Dardis with the pop pass up. Out to Jordan Conroy. Got Mullen with him. It's another one for South Africa. Or sorry, for Ireland. It's raining twice at the moment. They've got there, Hamish. It's raining in Hamilton today. Good weather for Ducks. What is the weather like for you? It's quite nice here. It's probably about maybe 20 degrees, somewhere around there. Bit of sun, a little bit of cloud cover. Could be a weatherman. Mullen out wide. Gets another try. This is a statement at the moment for the Irish. They have come out here and they wanted to make sure that they poured it on. And the kick was just successful as well. So 22 points to 5. Visits to the opposition, 22. They have had 4 visits and they have scored 4 times. This is unlike the Blitzboks that we know. When we look at them last week, in terms of some of their results, they were on fire. They were able to beat the tough sides. Man, any of you rugby heads had any sleep? I tried to sleep in between streams, but I also had 2 videos to edit, so I finished them, got them up, went to lie in my bed, and I had 45 minutes that I was trying to nap. I didn't get any sleep, but I felt like I lay in bed for like 5 hours, which was quite good, but I just hadn't slept during that time. Well, that's a good result up to now, says Brian. But yeah, South Africa, like we see them in the quarterfinals, they only just got beaten by the Fijians, which, I mean, they were pretty unlucky. And actually, now looking at their form, it's not that flash. Like, they beat France in the 5th place playoff game. I'm just looking, they lost to Fiji, they lost to Argentina, they beat Spain by 7. And then they have also lost to New Zealand 31-7, lost to Australia 28-0. And the last time that they played Ireland, they actually lost 14 points to 12. I feel like I was overestimating the form of the Blitzboks. Currently standing outside BC Place, peeking through the gates, listening to your commentary, says Jarrett. Well, hopefully you are enjoying it. You'll probably be a little bit ahead of me because you get to see it completely live rather than the delays that we've got here. Okay, it's going to be a scrum here For South Africa, they are 5 metres out from the Irish line. They need 2 converted tries and something to get themselves into this match. And players wearing 99 and 77. So 99 is Mullen, I believe. 77, I want to say, is Sean Cribben too. And a lot of solid work, Hamish. So here's Mr. Orlin. I can't see the game where it is. Or where is it? Says Dolores. So due to licensing, we aren't actually able to show it on YouTube. And it's a short ball. It's going to be a penalty, though, in favour of South Africa. But the highlights should be up on YouTube, hopefully, afterwards. Someone will hopefully put them up. That's why you're going to reach that 50 Gs. Sir Hamish. Because the hard mahi, says Naz Williams. It's 12:24 p.m. here. Says Brian, quick tap taken by the Blitzboks. Now the volume gets the ball out wide. In fact, it was Justin Gerald. The try for Roscoe Speckman. Looks like South Africa want to try and keep the tempo going. They need 3 tries. So I wouldn't even bother taking this kick theoretically. Or you at least shouldn't. Yeah, he's butchered it. But that was an extra 10 seconds that they should have said that was too hard to be able to convert. Or just going back and just go for it. Because the gap is too large. They need 12 more points. So one of these conversions they would have to get over if they were to get 2 more tries. Kicked off by Sean Williams. Hasn't gone the 10. And that'll be it, I would say. Now all Ireland need is to retain their scrum on the halfway line. And then they are walking to maybe a quarterfinal spot. In fact, they're pretty well safe. The moment of this group, the teams that go through, it will be Great Britain, it will be Ireland, and it will be New Zealand. South Africa completely missing out. Not something that a lot of people saw coming. I know they're on the podcast. Tim predicted that South Africa would go all the way and win this competition. I predicted that they'd be in the final. At the moment, the best final they can get in is the 9th place final. And I shout out Istanbul from New Zealand. And cheers, Hamish, for 6 to 99 and 77. There's Blues, Nate. Okay, referee just asking for this last scrum to be done correctly so that Ireland will be able to get that ball out and kick it into touch. But the next live stream, like I mentioned, it will be Samoa versus the USA. We are covering that one on the channel. We will be back very quickly, ladies and gents, but it's back into the pocket. It is kicked into touch. And Ireland win this game and make their way through to the quarterfinals alongside New Zealand and Great Britain. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all in a very short moment for the very next live stream.